I met Thomas Guerra during a time in my life where I was dealing with a series of nightmare scenarios. Those of you who are familiar with my history know that the first major drama I was involved in was the Great Toon Critic Nightmare of 2018. Zach Kays had sexually harassed me in the past, and had been a transphobic dickhole in general, so when everyone else who had been affected by his perversions and self-obsession started coming forward, I did too. During this, a massive conflict with Joshua Scorcher arose partially due to me being played like a fucking kazoo by another abusive ass who I've already talked about in the past. And Thomas, in an act of what I still want to believe was kindness, not only called out the unfair treatment I was receiving, but fundraised to upgrade my art equipment so I could keep working and make better money as an artist. This act of selflessness led to what would become a friendship and a kinship that would last for years. When he started pred hunting, I was following right alongside him like a scruffy alley cat following behind its grizzled clouder mate. When I came forward about Lily's abuse, he was there. When Buttons and Jazz teamed up with a delusional child to use what Lily did to make me look like a zoophile, he was there with me. When Blake Diamond used me as a troll shield to avoid being found out as a pedophile, he was there. With me. Helping me hold Blake accountable for abusing my daughter. This was the man I called my brother. A steadfast companion who was there when I needed support. A man I was proud to call my brother. I do not see that man before me anymore. For those of you out of the loop, a small YouTuber who goes by Kumo recently platformed 2 of Thomas's former children. The full version of Jordyn's interview is yet to be released at time of writing, but clips have been released, as has the full testimony of one of Jordyn's siblings. The assertions as they have been made are thus: verbal abuse, gaslighting, intimidation, favoritism, emotional invalidation, and even disowning his children for not getting along with hopeless Peaches, his last remaining daughter. When I was shown these allegations by a friend of mine who knew me back in my own pred hunting days, I nearly broke apart at the seams. I reached out to Jordyn, with whom I had always endeavored to be a supportive uncle for, and he admitted that he had been afraid to tell me the way his so-called father was treating him. I have met Jordyn in real life a few times. I have had the blessing to hug that boy and tell him in person how much he means to me. A boy who I adore, who I would go to jail for. He knows this. He knows I would do anything for him and his siblings, especially him and Opal, who I have known the longest. I have always been their biggest cheerleader, and even knowing that I would move mountains for him, Jordyn was too scared of Thomas to tell me. I'm not just an uncle, I'm a father myself. I have a daughter named Forrest, who is just about Jordyn's age. It's much. I took her in a very long time ago, when her biological parents were neglecting her emotionally, psychologically, and even physically in some ways. When her ex-boyfriend was abusing her, I took a train all the way to Seattle to confront Blake and help Forrest and her then-partner Digi escape. I would do anything for my daughter. She's a published author and an amazing young woman who makes me insanely proud. And as not only Thomas's brother, but as a fellow parent, I am repulsed by what he has done here. You made a promise to be these kids' father, but you don't know what being a parent is, Thomas. Being a father is staying up until 4 in the morning because your kid had another nightmare or PTSD episode, and they need you to hold them until the fear passes. Being a father is learning all your kids' safe foods because they're autistic and have texture issues, and if they don't have safe foods in the house, they might not eat at all. Being a father is teaching your child that it's okay to have emotions and be emotional, but also teaching them how to regulate those feelings and not let those emotions rule their heart and their choices. Helping them learn how to file taxes or change a flat tire. It's teaching your daughter how to throw a punch, teaching your son gun safety. It's dancing at your child's wedding and holding a funeral for their fucking childhood dog if they ask you. But more than anything, fatherhood is sacrifice. Because kids aren't supposed to be obedient, or pliable, or grateful. Kids are supposed to eat your food, break your heart, make mistakes, and hopefully, with your help, become a person who leaves the world better than it was when they came into it. You're not a father, Thomas. You're not. Additionally, this impropriety you have with Rose is appalling, Thomas. Cooing at a 24-year-old woman like she's 9 in front of strangers on live stream. Actively keeping her past of misconduct from the public, a luxury you never afforded Jordyn, by the way. What in the 9 circles of hell is wrong with you? You literally, on a live stream, humiliated Jordyn with Vida and Jace for being repeatedly targeted by pedophiles when he was a child. Something I disagreed with then and still disagree with now. And now, you hide screenshots of Peaches doing far worse for months. You will humiliate and shame a child for things they can't control, but shield a fully grown adult woman from the consequences of her actions. What am I meant to do with that, Thomas? Where is the man who encouraged me to publicly take accountability for everything that I had done? The mistakes that I had made when I was in Zoophile Police, forgetting to censor certain screenshots before I published them, or getting too personal with cases and getting too emotionally involved. Where's the man who helped me take accountability for the art that I was coerced into making? Where's that man? I don't see him. One by one, I have watched the people who claimed to share my goals be outed as monsters or fools. Vida turned out to be a groomer and a predator. Coyote lost the plot, and now I don't recognize him anymore. Cass Warfox, there are not enough words in the English language to express that disaster. And now, this. This repulsive circus of cockery. Deshonre su de te, fratello. You have brought shame on everything we built together. I hope, I pray to every god and every devil in this world and the next, that this is the last time I have to say anything about anyone. The fact that I have to sit here and condemn my own brother, well, you're not my brother anymore, are you? I may issue additional statements about this as more information comes out, as the full version of Jordyn's interview is yet to be published, and I have yet to see very many other statements come forward aside from that interview and the clips that I have seen, as well as Jordyn's public statement on Twitter. So as new information arrives, I will adjust my statement or expand upon it. I wanted this to be a misunderstanding. But until I see proof that I've been played the fool, I am choosing to believe the kids that have come forward and stand by them. Now, if you'll excuse me, it has taken me 6 takes to be able to get through this entire script without crying. So I'm gonna go have a smoke.